Hey, it's Dave from CHAPS. Figured I'd do an addition to the dark side of things, which is just a little opinion piece here and there. I'm sitting here on a COVID Tuesday. Got my Tim Hortons mug and a Tim Hortons cup. Chocolate milk, coffee. It's kind of cold outside. Figured I'd make a video. Just about trends that are going on. I can see that right now that the certain levels of the COVID world are jumping Josie's. First off, if you hear the noise, that's the noise, okay? Took him for a run. And he can't park himself anywhere but underneath my feet. So you're not hearing an EVP, which is the video I just did. Just kind of thinking about, COVID. The challenges have been decent. It's been hard on teams, I know that, because a lot of teams, I'm seeing trends out there right now. A lot of teams are cracking up or they're amalgamating. It's weird. One team is breaking up and three of those one teams are becoming one team. That gets kind of dangerous because that's a political upheaval just waiting to happen. Unfortunately, when you got people that run teams in the past and now all of a sudden they may be playing second fiddle to somebody, you're going to have a power struggle, and you're also going to have a whole mixture. And then you're also going to have these people that are going to want to show that this power team can be the next ghost hunters. I wouldn't worry about it. I know myself, there's a lot of people that are no longer with me. This is a period of time of regrowth for us, I know personally, where you got to see on your team who's going to do what and what they're going to provide. We're kind of in emergency situations getting into some small investigations. I know you can't have more than 5 people in a house in Ontario right now, so we keep to that, and our guys are masked, Purell all over the damn hands, and so on. It's kept in. But something else that I'm finding that's getting kind of crazy is the trends of silliness. The silliness that we are still getting ourselves involved with the immediate satisfaction tools out there. Seeing a great rebirth of the STS, SLS, whatever. Oh, it's so upsetting to see that. And now, of course, they're coming out with a lot more spirit box, and I understand the STS method is the cleanest way of doing that. Seeing some of that is interesting, but the rest, I'm watching people with spirit boxes and K2s standing in a graveyard. Who the hell is going to haunt their grave? So there's some really wicked trends that are going on. With the STS, that's coming from Baggins and his troop there, mostly. The people that have faith and belief in that. Guys, if you could show me something, like something walking across a neutral surface with a backup of a video camera that nothing was there. I am not, and have yet not, and I will put the challenge out, and I will openly do a video to talk about how wrong I am. I've never seen an SDS footage that is legit, ever. Ever, ever. I don't think I ever will. The machine does what it's supposed to do, and it's supposed to animate human activity, and whether that's finding something on an edge or a corner. But those toys are coming back out. Now there's the necrophonics and all this shit, stuff on the phone. It's just crap making you spend your money, man. Really. Give it up. Give it up. But the largest trend now, of course, is that people are going to be just rooting to get out there and start renting these locations because the shows are starting again, right? Now you've got a couple new shows out there. And I don't know how new Destination Fear is, but it's Ghost Adventurers 2. But the whole thing of every single location having the same claim, every home has the same claim too, because I'm getting a real whackload of cases coming in. We've all got the tall man with the thin hat. We've all got the lady in period dress. We've all got the little kid. What else have we all got? The shadow man. Like, believe it or not, every single case basically has the same, and every single location that's out there, commercial location, has at least anything. It's you got the grumpy guy that worked in the mechanical room. That's most of them. The nurse that got pregnant and hung herself. You got the ghost, or you got the doctor that jumped out the window. What else? It's like a tall, thin guy that lives there, but he's big. See, a lot of people think that that's succinct at just a couple locations, but there's a lot. I'm trying to think. Like, we've done hundreds of commercial locations that all seem to have the same thing. You know, probably the biggest thing is I have no idea how many medical places I've been to or old folks' homes that they talk about the morgue and all the crazy medical procedures that were done there, like lobotomies and all that. And I got to be honest with you, I'll research into those places, and there's just no backup for it. They just assumed it because it was a medical facility that they were doing lobotomies. And it's ridiculous, you know. And back then, lobotomies were considered a medical, you know, marvel, right? It wasn't done to torture. A lot of these places there, oh, horrible deaths, like Waverly Hills. Okay, you know, there's a lot of people died there because of tuberculosis, but they also considered Waverly Hills to be a wonderful place where people got fresh air and had friends and family. So we only think about the dark, horrible stuff, and that's all really weird. And then the morgue thing. You know, we were at an old folks' home. They talked about a morgue. There was no plumbing down there for this. There was no nothing. It might have been like a weight room or a waiting room where they would put, you know, cadavers, especially if it's an old folks' home, for the funeral home to get it. The coroner's department would generally handle that other stuff if it's going to be an autopsy. But the autopsies that were done down there, and you know, the funny thing is that there's been places that I've investigated that they talk about the autopsies being done down there, but the table that was in there that they wanted to show was the autopsies being done had actually been moved from a different location, because you can actually see the hospital stamp on it. So it's a pretty sad trend that every single place happened to have lobotomies and whatever, you know, something like I'm thinking about you know, 2 kilometers from here, I've got an old folks home. There's probably 900 old folks home there. I guess it has what's considered a morgue. I guess that's what they call it. But I mean, it's just where they're putting bodies and wait until the coroner or the hospital picks it up, or the funeral home. But if you went to that place and said, you know, are you guys doing surgeries here? Like I'm not talking about like field surgery where somebody slices up their arm and they give them a stitch. I'm assuming there's a nurse's department for that. But I'm talking like, are you in the basement cracking open people's lungs? You know, which should technically happen more now because we have facilities and the modern stuff. No, they're not. They're not doing that, okay? There's not a room where they're doing fucking lobotomies. Nobody's getting it drilled in the head there. And there's not an orphanage down the street where, oh, these kids were drilling holes in their head, okay? I don't, you know, not for the most part of them anyway. I just have no idea. Sandy, how many places have we gone to where supposedly that they were always doing lobotomies and autopsies?
Lots.
Like everywhere.
Anything that's got a history of being a hospital or an old folks home or like a mental institute or whatever, they seem to have that claim.
I do know that there was a bit more of the electric therapy being done, which again at the time was considered, you know, proper medicine. It wasn't there as torture. When we were at Waverly and they had the pneumothorax, you know, the air tanks, right? And they talked about the torture and the whole hell that people were going through. But this was at that time what was medically necessary, considered quite humane, right? It wasn't like, we're going to take some people in here and we're going to poke a hole in your chest, which by the way is done in hospitals. You know, with a collapsed lung, you get a hole poked in your chest. They don't do it so that they can hurt you. They do it so they can save your life. So I guess I'm getting a tad tired of listening to the TV shows now that every single place, and if I see one more show where somebody buys a demon house that has a freaking haunted doll in it, you know what? I've been at this for 27 years. 27 years. My team has done 500 investigations. There's been less than 10 investigations where we've even come out of it and like, whoa. And I've never run across a demon. And a demon has never followed me in my life. So odd trends. And you know what? Most of the teams that I've ever known have the same situation as me. So it's just weird trends. That's all. Thought I'd vent that out. It was a COVID day. It's a gross day outside. It's all cloudy and I felt cranky. So here's your dark side cranky. But I'm glad some paranormal TV is coming back. At least on Prime, they've got some interesting little ditties that you can look into. I hope you all well. I hope you're all healthy, and I hope, damn, we can get back out and investigate on a more regular basis again. Dave, ciao.